Okay, hello YouTube. Today I have a basic tutorial in Gamemaker on how to make simple movement in on a 2D platform scroller or a 2D platformer. So what you will need first of all is a Gamemaker. You will need a player sprite and a wall sprite, and I also made a background. It's blue, and I've just set them up in the wall like this, a room with my player and my walls and background, and I made an object player, a wall, and a pair wall, which is the parent for the wall. Okay, so what we'll be making is what I'm gonna show you here. It is just a little platformer where you can you can move around and you can jump. Just give some time, it will come. And yeah, so as you can see, we can move left and right. We can jump. We can jump up things. We can jump under things. We can just move around. And we cannot jump in the air. We can first jump when we hit the ground. So yeah, and that's collision, so you don't fall through. Yeah, okay, let's get started. And I will explain the code as good as I can. Okay, so first thing, I have the same setup here, but in here I don't have all the code, as you can see. Okay, so what you will need the sprite plate and a wall at least. And the sprite for the player is should look at the right, because that's only you need. And I don't have more images, I just have that one, because when he's moving left, we'll just flip the image. Okay, so to start with, you're gonna have at least these two things, and you're gonna make 3 objects. A player with the player sprite. You're gonna make a par underscore wall, no sprite or nothing, and then you're gonna make the object wall with the wall sprite, and the par wall as parent down here. You can choose it. Okay, and you'll need the room where you can set your things up in. Oh crap, sorry. Just gonna open it again. Yeah. Alright. Pressed the wrong button. So first you go into the object player and you add a create event. And we're gonna do it all in code. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make hisp equals 0 and visp equals 0, which is horizontal speed and vertical speed that the character will move. And I know there's the built-in function h speed and v speed, but if we do it like this, I can calculate it myself and then at last turn it into movement. We also gonna need some grav, which is gravity, and that is 0.5. And I also know that there's a function for gravity, but again, you can calculate it much better when you do it yourself. And we're gonna need one more variable, which is grounded, which is for jumping, so you can jump in the air, and that is gonna be 1. So these are the 4 variables you're gonna need in the execute code event, in the create event. Okay, good. Then you're gonna add event step, and again some code. So first, I like if you do like 2 slashes, it's gonna be a comment, and that's good for keeping track of your code. So the first we're gonna do is we're gonna get our inputs, which is when we press the keys. So the first key we'll need is key underscore, I just call it left, and that is equal keyboard, and then you can see there's a whole list, and we're gonna get the keyboard check direct. And in here you're gonna press VK underscore and left, like that. Alright, and if you're gonna do like letters, then you're gonna do it like this. You're gonna write or 2 parentheses and 2 so you make a string, and then you type the letter or number, and if you do a letter, you're gonna need to write it with uppercase, like this. Whoops. But we're gonna take VK underscore left. The second key we're gonna need is key underscore right, because we're also gonna move to the right. And again, keyboard check direct VK underscore right. And the last key we're gonna need is key underscore jump, which we're gonna press for jump, and for that I'm gonna use the keyboard check direct VK underscore up. Okay, so what this will do is every step this goes through, it will check if the key is pressed, and put the result into the variables over here. And it will do it every frame, so when you hold it down it will be true, and that will be stored in the variables over here. And there's also the pressed and the released, and that will only be true the step you press the button and release the button. Okay, so the next we're gonna do is we're gonna move left and right. Okay, so we're gonna see if we are holding down the left key, then we are gonna set our HISP, which are our horizontal speed, to -2, because we're gonna move to the left, which is like this, and the zeros over here. So this is positive, this is negative. Okay, and because we move to the left and the sprite is looking to the right, we're gonna need to change the direction, and that is done with the function image underscore x scale equals, and if it's -1 it's gonna flip it, and if it's 1 it's gonna be normal. So because we want it to look to the left and not the right, we're gonna flip it, so image scale equals -1. And then you're gonna do almost the same for right. So you're gonna check if we are pressing the right, and if we are gonna set our horizontal speed to 2 and our image underscore x scale to 1. Okay, so pretty simple. If you press one of the keys, it will set the speed to that direction, or it will not set the speed, it will set the variable HISP to the speed. But we have actually not moved yet, but we have turned the image so to the way it's gonna move. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is if we are holding both left and right or neither of those keys. So I used to call this neutral move equals 0. And here we're gonna check if, and this is gonna get a bit advanced, so just type along if you don't understand it. We're gonna check if both key underscore left and key underscore right is true. So these two things in the middle are two and signs. It's shift 6 for the most computers. But if you put two of them, both of these have to be true. So both I gonna have both hold the right key and the left key down. Or if I'm holding neither of those, it's not. So this thing is not key left and again not key right. Well, one thing I'm gonna mention is if you how fast you're gonna want your character to move is this and this. These are the numbers you wanna change if you want it to move faster or slower. Increasing the number will make it faster, and decreasing the will make it slower. Okay, so what we have here is if we are holding both the right arrow key and the left arrow key, or none of them, then we're gonna stand still. So we're gonna set our HESP to 0. Okay, so that's the move. So if we are gonna quick go and check, it should work. I hope it should. So just give it a little bit of time. Not answering, and it's again. And we get in. We should see we can. Okay, yeah, that's right. We actually haven't moved yet, so we can't see it. But you can see the turning, and it's moving weird because one thing I forgot to mention is on your sprite, you're gonna set the X origin to the center of the sprite. Okay, but if you can see it's turning the way you're clicking, that's a good sign. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is jumping. So what we'll do here is if we are holding down the key underscore jump, sorry, then but we don't want to jump in the air, so we're also gonna check if we are grounded, and that's what we need the variable grounded for, because that's what to check if we're on the ground or not. And if we're grounded, then visp equals -7, and this number, that is what you're gonna change to make it jump higher. But but it's gonna be negative to make it jump upward. But if you have something like upside down, you make it positive and it will jump down. But then you're gonna have to make the gravity negative. Alright. So what we're doing here, we are checking if we're holding down the jump key, and then we are checking if we are grounded. And that's the one we created in the create event, where we set grounded to 1 because we are grounded at the start, and then we can jump. And after that we are gonna take this a little bit up. We are going to set Visp to plus equals the gravity, and not the grav, but the variable we set up. So every time this goes through, this will not happen every time. It will only happen when it's truth, and this is also truth. But this will happen every time. So if we set this to -7, the next time it goes through, it will set to 6.5, and then 6, and then 5.5, and then 5, and then 4.5, and so on. And at least at last we'll make it to 0, and we'll stand still again. But that is gonna, when it's reached the where we're gonna go to land. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is vertical collision. So when we jump, that we're gonna stop at the ground. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna check if there is a place beneath us. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna drag this a little bit more up so you can see. We're gonna check if it's the same x, but we're gonna check the y plus our visp, which is our vertical speed, and we'll check ahead of us. So I have this here, and you can like see that if this is here, then it's gonna check if there's something 5 pixels below us, or if our visp is 5, it's gonna check 5 pixels below us, and then we are here. And if it's able to move like this in the picture, it's gonna move. And as you can see again, it can move again, but next time it will be in the ground, so it won't move. That's where it will stop. So I'm gonna go back. No, the wrong one, sorry. We're gonna go back, and what we're gonna check for a collision with, that is the par underscore wall, because that will par underscore wall, because that will make us detect for all the walls. So we're gonna have these, and then we're gonna check it, and then we do a while loop, because we want as close to the ground as possible. So while we are not as close as we can, while there's not a place 1 pixel below us, then we're gonna move down. So what we're gonna do is x, comma y plus visp, comma, and we're gonna check for the par wall again. And then every time it goes around, we're gonna say y plus equals 1. So what this will do, it will go through many times again in here. We'll get to here, then we'll get to the while loop, because it can't move further. And then what it will do, it will move 1 pixel per time. And what you can see, next time it will be in the ground, it's gonna stop, and then you can see we're as close as the ground as possible. Okay, I hope it's not going too fast for you. So that's what it will do, and underneath we're gonna set our visp, our grounded, because then we're landed on the ground again, to 1. And then we're gonna set our visp to equal 0, because then we want to stop. We don't want to go further down. And if we're not gonna get into the ground next time, then we're just gonna be still in the air. So then we want to set, whoops, wrong. Then we are gonna set grounded to equal 0, because we aren't at the ground yet. So that's what's happened when we check for the vertical collision when we're jumping. Okay, so the next is horizontal collision. This gets a bit more complicated. but I hope I can explain it. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do the same and check if place is meeting, but this time we're gonna check x plus hisp, because this is the side. But since we can go to two sides, we're gonna use the thing that's called sine and then hisp, because what that will do, it was if sine, it will return 1 or negative 1. So if sine is above 0, it will return 1, but if it's below 0, it will return -1. So that way we can decide what way we are going and what way we are checking for. And then the y, and again the par underscore wall. Alright. What we're gonna do here, again, we're not gonna do a while loop, because we wanna get as close to the side as possible. So while we're not place meeting at, again, x plus sine hisp. Have I made? Oh yeah, okay, it's right. Then we're gonna check the y, and then again for the par underscore wall. And of course, if we're gonna move x plus that way again, because sines, if we're moving the negative way, like left, it's gonna return -1, and we're gonna move -1, and we're gonna check -1. But if we're moving right, we're gonna check +1, and we're gonna move +1. Okay. And then when we are so close we can get, we'll set our hisp to 0. Okay. So yeah, I think that was it. I will just check. Yeah, that looks right. Yes. So one last thing to do. Whoops! What have we missed? We have missed something. Yeah. Whoops. My mistake. We need this. Or what? Ah, okay. I just did, or not? While. Ooh, the wild one misses. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it look right now. Yes, sorry. So one last thing to do is we're gonna commit the move. You're gonna commit the move. Okay. So what we'll do here is we're gonna say x plus equals hisp, because all the code up here set the hisp to the way we are pressing, and then it's gonna set our coordinates plus the way we want to move. Sorry, not no. Yes, and the same for the y. We're just gonna say plus equals visp. So now we should actually be able to move, and that should almost be it. There's one last thing I'm gonna take, but I'm first gonna show you what the problem is. So we're gonna give it a minute to load the game. Here it goes. You can see we can now we can move, and we can jump. So it's working, and we can move into the corner as close to the wall as possible. But oh, I can see I forgot something. Yeah, I was just gonna do one little thing to the room. I'm going in here. I'm going to take a wall. I'm just gonna do this, because I'm gonna show you one little thing we haven't got to in this if you're gonna make a platformer. with a ceiling or something. So as you can see, we can still move in that. So if I go up here and then I jump, you can see we get stuck. We can like hang. So to fix that you're just gonna jump down again, you have to go into the object layer, the step, and under vertical collision. And you're actually just gonna do two things. Oh, sorry, three things. So first, you're just gonna sign the wisp into like this, so you can test if you are going upwards or downwards. Yeah, yeah. And also over here you're gonna see sign this like that, and that should really fix it. So let's see if it works, and if it did, then you have created the start of your own like sort of platform, basic platform, and then you can expand to it with like animations or sounds or things like that, or more controls. As you can see now, we are, whoops, that's weird. Why is it stuck to seal? Okay, I'm just gonna jump over to show off and check what we. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. I forgot one thing more. Go into player, the step, the code, vertical collision, and here at grounded, you're gonna say if sign wisp equals 1, then ground, because we don't want to be grounded if we are touching the ceiling. And that should really do it. I just hope it works now, because then I have helped you to make the start of your own basic platformer, 2D platformer. Okay, we can move. We're gonna go over here and test it. Okay, it's weird because I can't jump now. I really should have some debug tool or something. But anyway, that was the tutorial on how to create a basic platformer. Thanks for watching.